Welcome to Season 4 of She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again for another live community chat here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. It would help if I introduce myself. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator. And my channel here on YouTube is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you some tips and tricks and things that I do every day in my own voiceover business. And then we get together weekly in these community chats to talk about a topic or two or five. And sometimes I go off on tangents. But hey, if you're not new here, then you know every week we have a new poll, which is basically the topic for today. And this was, this came from you guys. Last week I asked what topics you guys would like to talk more about. And I generally talk about audiobooks a lot because those are the questions that I get most often is usually about audiobooks. But you guys last week wanted to talk more about voiceover and marketing voiceover and all of those good things. So this week, the poll is, we're going to start with how many different types of voiceover have you done? Because we're going to talk about all of the different types of voiceover that there are, all the different opportunities there are in the voiceover realm or industry. And there are a lot more than you would think. There's a lot of things that I never even thought about in the beginning. You know, again, I wanted to start in audiobooks. And then, you know, as I made myself available for audiobooks, people would ask, hey, I see that you do audiobooks, but I have this project, or I have this script, or do you do this? And after a quick Google search to see how it was done, if I needed to, I'd go, absolutely, let's go, right? And then through that process, over the course of the last, 6+ years now, there's a lot that I never even thought of, as an opportunity as a voiceover artist. So we're going to talk about those today. So far the poll is, let's see, we have about 31 votes and 48% of you, so almost half of you said 1 to 3 different types. 13% of you said 4 to 7. 3% of you said 8+, and 34% of you said none yet. And I'm in that 8+, I think, at this point, easily. All right, so what are the different types of voiceover? And I'm sure that I'll probably forget 1 or 2 or 3, but I made a point to write things down because I'm no spring chicken and I forget things sometimes. So we have meditation, which is, or any kind of healing with your voice, which could be meditation, affirmations, hypnosis. And these kinds of scripts they have a lot of different applications, because you would think meditation, okay, well, that's a YouTube video. I've actually recorded, it's one of my best sellers. It's one of the things that I do the most is meditation, affirmations, and hypnosis. And I record these for not only YouTube channels, but also for, I do a lot of hypnosis, I should say, for like psychotherapists and, things like that. I've recorded stuff for spas and treatment centers. I've recorded meditation for individual users, small businesses, I suppose. But point is, lots of different applications, more than you would think, for meditation. Podcasts, I mean, there's a lot of applications for it. There's IVR, which stands for, I did this the last time. It's Interactive. There you go. I was kept thinking integrated. That's not right. Interactive voice response. And that is basically a phone tree, right? So if you call into your dentist and they say, hey, for Dr. So-and-so, press 1. For Dr. So-and-so, press 2, so on and so forth. For billing, press 3. Those are what we call IVR or phone trees, whichever way you want to go. And it's not just big businesses ordering these. These are individuals, people maybe with just a new startup and they want their cell phone voicemail greeting recorded by someone professionally, with music. There's on hold. There's all kinds of different things with IVR that you can do. There are, of course, commercials, which, short and sweet most of the time. There's UGC, which we talked about, was it last week or the week before? And UGC stands for user-generated content. Now, this one is becoming more and more popular, and I highly recommend using UGC in like as a search term or a keyword in any of your profiles for Fiverr, like in your title, in your tags, because those are things that are being searched for. And that is essentially you being the voice artist for someone else's social media platform. Maybe they're promoting their product, they're promoting a service, their business, or, and they just don't like the sound of their own voice and like to hire someone else to do that. That is becoming more and more popular. So UGC, user-generated content, is definitely something to look into. There are, of course, podcasts. There are some podcasters that don't like the sound of their own voice and would like to hire someone to become the voice of their podcast. Not only that, apart from that, really, is you could also have a service where you create intros and outros, and you can mix in music and you can be the voiceover artist who creates podcast intros and outros. There's also video games, of course. I've done a handful myself. And when people think of video games, they think, okay, well, I have to do a bunch of crazy voices. Not necessarily. Every video game that I've done, apart from, I think, Whisper and Twilight, was just my voice, was just me, right? For a couple of games, I had to give it a little bit of a darker, more kind of a ominous, slower pace, but more than often, it was just my voice, just me speaking. I was like an NPC or something in the background. Nothing major, but fun nonetheless, and I really liked it. There's medical narration, which is a type of long form, and I wanted to hold off on long form. There's also toys, devices, right? If you think about the toys that are on, your toy store aisle, in Target, Walmart, whatever toy stores are left in the world. I know Toys R Us is a thing of history. But anyway, the toys that speak, that's a voice artist also that has recorded those lines. Animation, of course, cartoons, animated films, that's also voiceover artists doing that. And then the long form, and forms of long form could be audiobooks, it could be e-learning, right? You could be the voice of somebody's online course. Right. There's medical, easy for you to say, medical narration, which is something I also do a lot of. And that is explaining how a new device works, giving a brief. I mean, it could be all kinds of different things. A how-to video on YouTube and how to use something or how something works, right? Like an outpatient. I was trying to think of one other option I did, or one other application that I did. It was an outpatient video on how to use something that the patient was sent home with to use, right? I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that we can use our voices as voiceover artists. So get out there and explore all of these different ways. So if you're on Fiverr or a place like Upwork, if you're on a freelance marketplace, and you have the opportunity to create projects or gigs, right, on the sites respectively, you could use some of these keywords to help people find you for these types of voiceover. I mean, there's all different kinds of ways. And also if you're doing email marketing and you're targeting a specific business that does a specific thing, you could target your voiceover services for that specific thing. My point in this is that there's a lot more than just commercials and audiobooks, right? The first couple things that come to mind. There's a lot of different applications and uses and need for voiceover artists. So with that said, if I forgot anything, oh, did I say ADR? I don't think I said ADR. There's also ADR, which is kind of like dubbing, right? Giving, for example, if there's a video that is in German and they wanted to have an English version of it, you would record the English voiceover and then sort of sync it to the German voiceover. So you would sort of have to lip sync for the most part to make it look like the speaker on screen is actually saying these words in English. I mean, if you think about any of the movies that you've seen that were dubbed in a different language, there you go. If I forgot anything, please let me know. But let's go over to, I don't know why I clicked that. I'm getting click happy. Let's go over to the comments and see. Got a lot of comments so far, and I was watching the comments as we were waiting to get started before the intro started. And you guys are so funny. This one gave me a good giggle. Dwight is first in. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Angela, my fellow Angelista minions. Everyone put on your minion costumes and let the circus begin. I don't know about minion costumes, but the circus, yeah, I think that's it. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning. Our beautiful morning here. Hope everything is, everyone has a wonderful day. Yes, everyone is enjoying the day. Yes. And it's what did I see this morning? It's a pink moon tonight or tonight, which means it's a good day to manifest things. So if you have something you would like to manifest, today would be the day to really think hard about it. Positive things. No negativity, no stinking thinking here. Just side note. Tim Gleason is here. Hey, gang. Good to see everyone. Good to see you, Tim. Thanks for hanging out with us. Dwight says, hey there, Rustic and Tim. Good to see you. TT Farmer, welcome. Hello, I am recently new and was wondering, is this audio once it starts? Was hoping to listen while I'm at work right now. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining. And again, I'm sorry I saw your comment a little bit further down about the music. Yes, my intro has music. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you. Dylan says, good morning all. I've done 4 so far. Audiobook, animation, commercial, and IVR. I like commercial the best, of course. Quick VO, slap a rack on it, edit, throw on some licensed music, and send it off. Anytime that I've done a commercial, I've never had to put, well, no, that's not true. I'd say most often when I've done commercial, it has been just the recording, completely raw too, no effects, no nothing on it. And just as a quick side note, because we talked about this in our Platinum group last week about reading the tech specs. For everything that you get, if a client sends you a script, look for tech specs or ask the client questions in regards to, like, if there's a certain type of formatting for the file that they need, if they wanted it completely raw or like broadcast ready. But most of the time you'll see this information in the tech specs, and there's a lot of valuable information in the tech specs. And that goes for auditions, I would think, most of the time, before you even get the job, right? The audition will tell you what kind of tech specs or what kind of file formatting or tone or anything like that they require. Because if your audition doesn't adhere to what they're requesting, they're not even going to listen to it, right? So for example, if they asked you for a WAV file at a specific, sample rate and bit depth, and your audition doesn't fit that, they're not even listening to it. Because if you can't follow directions now, you sure as heck aren't going to do it later, right? So tech specs are important. But yeah, I think maybe once or twice I've put licensed music on a commercial that I've done. Dylan says to TT Farmer, it's video and audio. Yes, I'm here. Miriam says, hello, Dwight, and all other Angelista minions. As you well stated, Dwight. Hope all is well. How's it going, Angela? It's going really well. It's going really well. Going really well. Thank you for asking. I hope you guys are doing good. TT Farmer says, thank you. Dwight says to TT, yes, Angela's both video and audio. She then reads our comments also. We converse in here and ask our questions, and then she reads all that is typed here. I do. I absolutely do. TT Farmer says, great. Is this live chat daily at noon? It's every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. Hi, TT, Miriam, Dylan, the demigod. Glad to see you all. Let's see. And then Dwight says, if you're late, you bring donuts. Yes, if you are late to the live stream, you bring donuts. Make it just that easy. Yeah. My cup of tea 101 here early this time. Yes, you were just before we got started. Welcome. A cup of tea. Joe Pace is here. Hey, Joe. Good morning, all. It must be the slow knot time. Ready to voice on and on. You mean like a slow time of year? If that's what you mean, yes, April is, for me anyway, in my experience, it's usually been a little bit on the slower side. I think that has something to do with tax time, my opinion. I don't know, of course, the real reason why this happens, but that's just what I suspect. Dylan says, OMG, my fat fingers are not cooperating today. Hi, Dwight. Dylan the demigod. I've gotten a ton of nicknames from this group. It is a great nickname. Dylan the demigod. Jacqueline Zola is here. Hi, Jacqueline. Good afternoon from Florida. I've been attempting to join your platinum group for a while now, but my introverted self has got the best of me. But today is the day I say, okay, holy nerves. Well, if you do decide, just know that you are in good company. I am a badge-wearing introvert. And I freely tell anybody who you probably wouldn't guess it, but I am. I'm a big introvert. It took a lot of work to get comfortable with being on camera. It still makes me a little bit uneasy, but I know that I'm with friends, right? And that's essentially what happens with the Platinum group. And I know that there are other introverts in there as well. And that is what it's come down to. That's what it comes down to, is that it's a group of people who care, who are supportive, and we all have the same goal. And they're introverts too, some of them. So we understand. And you're in good company. And you don't feel judged. You don't feel like an outsider or anything like that. You feel very welcome in the group. But we'd love to have you if you haven't already joined. Dylan says, welcome, not to speak for the whole platinum group, but we're pretty awesome. I think you can speak for the whole group. We are pretty awesome. Joe says, good morning, all. It must be the slow down time. Yeah, it is for me, but I don't know. Anybody else watching? Is it slow this time of year for you too? Or is it just me? TT Farmer says, nice. Oh, yeah. And then he said he wasn't expecting me. Sorry. And then I said, I'm keeping you on your toes. Dylan says to Jacqueline, the Platinum group is an amazing group of people. I've never met a more knowledgeable and friendly group of people, and we have a good mix too. So don't be discouraged or intimidated by the knowledgeability of our group. We have a great mix of people that are just thinking about starting to people that have been doing this for a few years. We have all types of walks and backgrounds and experience levels, and everybody contributes in a way that is just this perfect harmony, and everybody comes together so well. I'm so proud and so in love with my Platinum group. Such a great group of people. Ryder Dude says, good morning. Good morning, Ryder Dude. MG Stevens is here. Good morning, Angela and everyone. Happy Tuesday. Yes, Leslie says, good morning. Jamie Rod is also here. Hello, Angela. Hello, everyone. Got a lot of Platinum group today in the chat. Chat with Lorna Learning Channel says, hello, Angela. A brisk, beautiful day here in Galicia, Spain. 6 p.m. here, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That sounds beautiful. I miss Spain. I lived there for about a year in Valencia, and I absolutely loved it. I would love to retire there. Go back. Lisa says, what platform do you find work for meditations on? Fiverr mainly. I have a Fiverr gig that is just for meditations, affirmations, and hypnosis, and that is one of my best-selling gigs. I would say my podcast editing gig is my best-selling gig, and then second to that would be my meditation gig, and then right after that would be probably a tie between my audiobook gig and my PowerPoint gig would be my best-selling gigs, but Fiverr. Bears VOA says to Dylan, agreed. The people in the Platinum Group are the reason I have gotten to where I am. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are happy with it too. Pamela's here, not late, just forgot to write something. I foresee a brilliant day ahead. I do too. Good feeling about today. Lisa says, I do a lot of UGC. Good. Oh, as far as it being a brilliant day, I'm taking my son to get his driving permit today. Where does the time go? He was just a little baby. Now he's getting a driving permit. Oh my God. Makes me feel old. Oh my God. Annie says, I would love to voice a random kid's toy. Yeah. I don't know how I would feel about that. I think, of course, me being introverted, I would be like, oh my God. Of course, I would have to go buy the toy, right? So that I could have it on my shelf. But every time I would squeeze it or whatever, I would just be like, oh God, don't do that. I'm the same way when somebody listens to some of my work, wherever it is, right? Like if it's on a video game or a YouTube channel or something, and when I hear myself, I still cringe. Oh God, don't do that. So you guys aren't alone if you feel the same way. I do it almost every time. Miriam says, if a person doesn't have yet a freelance account like Fiverr, etc., what would they type in on Google for, let's say, video games or UGC? UGC, I would say your best bet to find. I want to address that one first because it's a little bit easier. UGC, I would say your best bet for that is to make connections on social media, because that is where those people are, is social media. If they're looking for inspiration for perhaps their next video, they're going to be on social media looking for that inspiration. If they come across something that you've created on social media and they hear your voice and they're like, that's it. That's what I was looking for. And look at that. They're a voice artist who do this specialty thing. That would be the way that I would tackle that, was to be present and market yourself on social media for that purpose. But for the video games, I would say the majority of the video games that I have done have come from Fiverr or Upwork, mainly Fiverr. I've had one or two that found my YouTube channel and then reached out to me directly via my website, but the majority of those have been from Fiverr. But if you're looking to find really any business that you're looking to market to, I would just use the words that you would use and then start going down that rabbit hole. So for video games, I would start looking for video game studios, production companies, things like that. Find those websites, go to the contact me section or staff or about us or something, and then get more information about who does what, and then who in turn you would need to reach out to, be put on their roster or to be, possibly considered in the future. Bears VOA says, I'm going to give a plug and a ton of love to the Platinum Group. I am in the final round to narrate a book. This is 100% due to the knowledge and help I have gotten from the group. Love you all. Well, I'm so glad you feel that way, and I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. That's awesome. TT Farmer says, that's okay. Happy I was connected to your group. Sounds super fun. Yes, it is. Christine is here. Hey, Christine, greetings. My cup of tea says, what about VO we've done ourselves? Like a poetry reading posted to our YouTube channel. Does that count? Of course it does. Of course it does. I didn't specify if it was a paid gig. So to your credit, I didn't specify. But yes, if you've done it, I just wanted to get a pulse really with a poll on if people were aware of or maybe have experience in doing some of these different types of voiceover, if they even knew that there were, over a dozen types of voiceover to do out there. So yeah, that totally counts. Masonry Construction says, not VO by definition, but live performance, public speaking and storytelling are all aspects of the audio arts. Once in a while, you can actually get paid for them as well. Mm-hmm. Bears VOA says, I reach out 100% of the time, marketing myself. Apparently, my voice is better than my looks. I am learning to cuddle with my voice. And remember, you don't have to like the sound of your own voice, right? Because even at this point, like I just said, 6 years later, I still hear myself and cringe. So I don't know if that really truly ever goes away, or if that's just an aspect of being an introvert. I don't know where that comes from, but other people like your voice, right? Just like, you don't have to like your voice. You don't have to like your voice. Other people will. Because I've said it a million times, voice actors represent the world. So there needs to be diversity in the voices that are available for voiceover. Christine says, Bello. Glenn York brought the donuts. He understood the assignment. Making me hungry, though. I got my coffee. Now I just need a donut to dip it in. Or to dip into my coffee. Oh my God, Big Jim Media. Hey, Big Jim. Haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing? What up? Good to see you here. Bears VOA says, introvert. I was a lurker. I was too for a long while. ACX still has over 400 books in my search. There was a time where ACX had like thousands of books, right? I don't know if because there's more narrators or maybe some other people are going in like the traditional publishing route versus the self-publishing route. I'm not sure. But authors need to get out there and write their books. Get out there and write them books. But 400 is still quite a few to choose from. Dwight says to Jacqueline, you will not be disappointed and you will be surprised how lifting the Platinum Group is. I asked the dumbest question yesterday and I had 3 people help me as I said to myself, don't. Masonry Construction says other types of VO. If you have a YouTube channel and a podcast channel, you will always have a place to share your skills. Yes. And backlink to your website, which you need. Absolutely. Ty Condelar says, what is radio imaging for voiceover? If you think about listening to the radio, like DJ drops, like you're listening to station, blah, 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 blah. Anything that you hear on the radio really is radio imaging. That's kind of what that is. Simple answer. Geok Z123 says, so sad for the kids about Toys R Us. I know that they'll never experience the joy of walking into a Toys R Us. So sad. JCC AOL says, so since I missed last week, I will treat for catering. Don't make any promises. All I want to know is, do people want pizza, tacos, sandwiches, Chinese food, or Middle Eastern food? Ooh. I would say pizza would probably be easy, but I would love to say tacos, like street tacos. Yeah. Robert Reed says, donuts on your kitchen counter. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Pamela says, don't forget to hit like. Yes, please. I would appreciate it if you did hit that like button, not literally, just gingerly press it with your mouse. Would be helpful. And if you're watching this in Team Replay, please, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit that like button. That really, really helps me out and helps other people to find me. So I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Geok says, I know you use Adobe Audition, but do you have any feedback about Reaper? I know there's a lot of people in my Platinum group that use Reaper, as well as Audacity. And I believe even a couple use Studio One still. I've never personally used any of those apart from Audacity and Adobe Audition. Those are the only 2 that I've actually used. So those are the only 2 that I really feel comfortable speaking about. But I know there are some pros and cons to each of them. And I think what it's going to come down to is how you want to pay for it. And does it make sense to you, right? Is it intuitive to you? Is it easy to use for you? I think that's really what it comes down to, because Reaper is a one-time fee. Adobe Audition is a monthly subscription. And I think Studio One might be a one-time fee, or you can get it free to use and download with the purchase of some interfaces and things and microphones. Don't ask me which ones, I'm not sure, but I have seen it as part of like a bundle. Audacity is free to download and use, and it is a very good software. There are a couple little things that I don't like about it that are, to me, seem unnecessary, that make recording, editing a little bit difficult, but it's really going to come down to what you prefer. And I think all of these do have a free trial. All of these different DAWs have a free trial of some sort, either 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, where you can try them out and see if you even like them. And then you can choose the one that you do like. But nothing really specific about Reaper, because I've never used it. Geox says, for a free DAW, Audacity is over the top great. It is. It's still very surprising to me how good Audacity is. There's just a few little quirks with it that I find frustrating. But for being free, there's a lot of people that I know that still use it after years, because if it ain't broke, right? Big Jim says, doing great, mostly FPS video games these days, military style. That sounds like it would be a great niche for you. That's awesome. Congratulations. Writer Dude says, by the way, I brought peanut butter cookies, dips one in coffee. Sounds amazing. Is it a Girl Scout cookie? Masonry Construction says, a life-changing event for me was taking a speech and debate class at a local GC and then falling in love with storytelling. I was 50 and all the competitors were pre-law and actors and young. Yeah, I bet. It's never too late to go back to school. Never too late. Dwight says, new term for you, Angela. Some of us are either Angelistas, the rest are Tangelistas. Just how it is. Yes, I tend to go off, for those of you that are just watching for the first time, I tend to go off on tangents, and then we've lovingly nicknamed them tangents. And I always apologize for the tangents. Sometimes they come and sometimes I pump the brakes before they start, but sometimes I allow them to just do what they do. And I always apologize for them. But then you guys are like, no, they're great. I always feel bad about tangents. CD Williams says, I'm looking to join the Platinum group finally, probably next week. Good. Can't wait. I know the group will help with my accountability and depression. Accountability, yes. And depression, I totally get, because voiceover, as fun and as gratifying and fulfilling as it is very isolating and lonely. You're all by yourself in a padded room, talking to yourself. Having a group, and even if you don't join my Platinum group, join some sort of group, whether it be a Facebook group, whether it be like a mastermind, join something, because the camaraderie and the support and the help and just the community is everything, in an industry like ours where we're alone a lot, most of the time. Definitely does help. Voiceover Van Deen is here. Hey, only 7 I can remember: corporate, commercial, poetry narration, audio drama, audio book, staffing or staff training, e-learning, and spoken word as part of a music track, hopefully to be confirmed this week. That's cool. I have done all of those too. And there are, even with all of the different types that I mentioned in the beginning, as you can see, and as Voiceover Van Deen has beautifully illustrated, there are also sub-niches within those niches, right? So there is so much need and application for a voiceover. There's so much out there that you can do. But congratulations, that's cool. Writer Dude says, to JCC AOL, I'm up for Middle Eastern food. TT Farmer says, do you know where to go to get help doing my first ACX narration, my Platinum group? It is royalty share, and I probably put the horse before the cart, but I'm learning probably the hard way. Any advice? I started out that exact same way, just kind of feeling my way through it. And I think my advice still stands from, I know I've said it many times, but I know a lot of you haven't seen a lot of my videos. So, excuse me, if you're looking to get into audiobook narration and you're sort of uncomfortable or not sure, I recommend, before you get into ACX, go to LibriVox.org. And I think I still have that banner. I do. This is how it's spelled, LibriVox.org. This is where you can volunteer your time to narrate a book in the public domain, a book out of copyright, either a book in its entirety or a chapter or section of the book. And through this process, you get a good feel of the narration process, the editing process, the formatting process, the mastering process, and the confidence you gain in knowing for certain that you can do this before you jump into ACX is definitely helpful. But if you get into ACX first, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It might be a little bit harder to get through it because you haven't gone through, all of the steps before, but you definitely can do it. And then I lost here it is. But take your time with it. Make sure that you're not overthinking everything. I know it's hard to do because you really don't know what you don't know yet, but I would definitely become part of Facebook groups at the very least. There are specific groups on Facebook for ACX narrators. There's audiobook narrator Facebook groups apart from ACX narrators. There's my group, the VO workshop. There's all kinds of groups out there that you can ask questions and get responses, thoughtful responses. You can get feedback on things. So again, joining a group is definitely going to help quite a bit, I think, for anybody. But give yourself some grace and give yourself some time to get through it because your first one is usually going to take the longest. Dylan says, so question, is Upwork the best place to find video game and commercial work? I would say for me, Fiverr has been that place for me, but Upwork definitely can be for sure. I think any platform that you put time and effort into developing and growing and filling out and being active on is going to be a good place to find these things. But namely commercial work, you'll probably find more of that on some of the voiceover casting sites like the pay-to-plays, like Voice 123 and, some of those. But there's a lot more competition there because of the membership structure. So, and you could still market yourself on social media, do direct emailing if you don't want to do the platform thing at all. If you would like to earn your own clients, email marketing, cold calling, social media marketing, those are the ways that I would go for that. But don't put all of your eggs, of course, into one basket, right? Diversify where you get your work from. Meaning anywhere that's credible where you can find voiceover work, then that's where I would make myself available. Dwight says to CD Williams, what Angela said is all true. That said, our group is always supportive, both professionally and on a personal level. Absolutely. MG Stevens says, to add to great causes that don't pay monetarily, I volunteer for my local reading service. Oh, that's nice. Reading on air for blind or print impaired community. So fun. Google your area or state. There's probably one. That is awesome and great practice, I would say. Confidence builder for sure. Masonry Construction says, VO on Fiverr, Upwork, be aware that some of your opportunities might be scammy. Of course, there's going to be scams. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, but really there could be scams anywhere that you make yourself available. Scammers are going to try to prey on you wherever you are. Turned down one about 2 weeks ago, a testimonial about a business I didn't know, couldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, on places like Fiverr where there's no barrier to entry, there's no monthly fee or anything like that. You're going to have everybody joining to looking to get, something either at a very low cost or something that's sort of questionable. I've had a teenager ask me before if I could call into school as his mother. And I said, no. And I've also been asked out on a date. I've been asked for pictures of my feet. I've been, so anywhere you make yourself available online, you're going to have people that are trying to take advantage of you or get you to do questionably questionable things. So that's really anywhere that you are online. So just, ask questions. Always ask questions. If something is unclear or vague, or if it sounds like something, get clarifying questions. Ask those questions. There's no law that says that you can't. Make sure that you're completely crystal clear on what it is that they're asking you to do. Robert Reed says, I have just played around on YouTube and have several videos. Good. I think that's another great way to share your services or what you sound like. Make yourself visible. As I say, introduce yourself to the world. Having a YouTube channel and then creating your own content on YouTube is a great way to start. Bears VOA says, you will get direction assistance and in my case, reassurance and a helpful shove. Can't wait to get my acting assistance refresher. That's awesome. We're good about helpful shoves. MG Stevens says, this is also great experience and training. These services are always looking for volunteers. Some are still recovering from COVID setbacks, and there could be a waiting list. Such a needed thing. Yeah, I love that you do that. Bears VOA says, yes, LibriVox for me, and I used Project Gutenberg to put samples on my page. Yeah, and Project Gutenberg is a site where you can access books in the public domain. So if you think about all of the classics like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Dracula, and so many others that are out of copyright, Project Gutenberg or Gutenberg.org, and I think I have that one too. Hold on. This is how it's spelled. Gutenberg.org is where you can find all of those books in the public domain. Let's see. And then Dylan says to TT Farmer, Angela has many past videos explaining the ACX process, and ACX themselves have a whole series. They have the ACX University of videos explaining the process on their website. TT, and I have a whole playlist here on my channel in the audiobook narration playlist, all kinds of different things. TT Farmer says, okay, we'll look into that. I accepted my first audiobook and now I have to work it. Yeah, thank you. I will check all that. Appreciate that. Tim Gleason says, are the Fiverr giggers that consult on Fiverr gigs setup generally worth the investment? That is really hard to answer because I don't know. I think just like finding a coach or finding help with anything, all you have to go on is the social proof, right? Those that went before you to tell you whether or not it was a total waste of time. But even then, that's going to be completely subjective from person to person. So I don't know. I would say do your due diligence, look up these people, right? Google them and see what kind of feedback or what else they've done. See if they've actually, are they a brand new seller on Fiverr? Or are they top rated? Are they a pro? I mean, there's all of these things that you probably want to take into consideration before you do that. But if you're in my platinum group, I give you guys, Fiverr gig reviews and consults on your Fiverr gigs. I have a Fiverr gig review available on my website where you purchase the Fiverr gig review, and then I go and review your Fiverr gigs for you. And if you don't know me, I'm an official trainer on Fiverr. So I have that too. Not only that, but I've been a top rated seller for probably almost, 5 years on Fiverr. So I'll help you. If you're in my platinum group, you guys get that as part of the platinum group membership fee. Bears VOA says, I pulled the trigger on Fiverr and getting an Upwork profile. Good. Joy is here. Hey, Joy. Hello, everyone from cloudy, chilly, rainy, 57 degrees Southfield, Michigan. I'm at least 4 to 7, but I'm open to doing anything voiceover the first time. That is a great attitude to have. You should be willing to try everything at least once. Right? Try it at least once and see if you like it. As a forever learner, I don't like to limit myself. And I love that about you, Joy. Masonry Construction says, Robert Reed, share your YouTube channel with us. Yes, but don't share it as a link. Otherwise, it'll be filtered out by YouTube. So just type it in phonetically, just with words like @ and .com, right? Or just give us the name of the channel on YouTube so we can go and find it. Dylan says to Tim, Angela reviews a Platinum Group members' Fiverr and Upwork profiles typically once a month. Yep, sure do. Sure do. TT Farmer says, oh, wow, going there next. That's so helpful. Awesome. Glenn York is here. A few weeks into my VO journey, welcome to the family. This week's tasks are to set up my macros in my DAW, record some samples, and submit my first audition on ACX by the end of the week. Wish me luck. You will be just fine, but good luck to you. Don't forget to use your audition as a sample. 60% of the jobs booked on ACX are by audition, and 40% are by samples, by people finding you via your samples. So make sure that you're always recycling those often. Don't overlook the samples. Masonry Construction says, funny thing about Reaper. First time I ever heard about it was from a teaching you were doing and decided to try it. Well, look at that. And I didn't know anything about it. So that's good. I think it was probably Chris or Joya who was talking about Reaper. She knows all about it. She could tell you everything about it. Happy birthday, Polly says, hello. My agent just ghosted me faster than my last Tinder match. She's told me I sound too formal, but it's just how I speak naturally. Any advice on fixing this for future auditions? I think I can relate to what you're saying because I am a naturally articulate person. I know I scramble words up a lot, but I'm just naturally an articulate person, and allowing myself to relax and not be so articulate and just kind of mush things together was a really hard thing for me to do, to speak casually, right? Because not everybody speaks like that. It's sort of, everything's, oh, I feel a tangent coming. Contemporary speech, like everything is just like shorthanded and truncated and doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's a hard thing to do if you're naturally articulate. It takes a lot of practice, and you're just allowing yourself just to be lazy and sort of lazy-mouthed about everything that you say so that you're not being articulate, which just feels wrong. But and there's also need for formal sounding VO too. So the fact that your agent left you because of that is I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of odd to me. But I've personally never had an agent. I don't know if I will ever have an agent. I like being, my own free agent, as they say. But don't let that being articulate hold you back, because I did just fine being articulate. There's need for it. And it's not something that you should be concerned about. Yes. Robert Reed says, my cousin, who is a director, is making plans to direct a film in Spain called Spanish Garden. Oh, that's awesome. Michaela Roseberry says, can I use my auditions for non-NDA projects as samples on my sites? Whenever this question is asked, I have to say this with I am not a lawyer, but I have. As to your point, yes, as long as there is no NDA, this is how I look at it. You're not selling it. You're not saying that you wrote it. You're just using this bit of copy as the ability to showcase what you sound like, right? Or maybe even work that you've done. If it's a client project and they've paid you to do it, you could ask them. Right? I have it built into the verbiage on Fiverr and Upwork, where as soon as I deliver a project, I say, I would like to use a piece of this for demo purposes, unless you tell me otherwise, right? You could say stuff like that, or just reach out to the client and say, hey, do you mind if I use a piece of this as, a demo for demo purposes on my website? And most of the time they say, yeah, that's fine. Sometimes they say, no, that's like, some proprietary stuff in there, but ask. You can ask your clients if you can use them if you're not sure. TT Farmer says, can you do Fiverr even with a full-time job? I did. I did it for almost 2 years. How fast do you have to reply? Sounds intimidating. Yes. But if you think about it from Fiverr's perspective, they've spent millions of dollars in marketing to attain these people, to get the attention of these people to come to their site and utilize their services. They want to make sure that everybody's selling a service on that site is going to treat those people that they spent millions of dollars to acquire well. Some of their like standards are a little bit stringent, but it's just the way this platform works. Not every platform is like that. Upwork is a little bit more relaxed and lenient about things. But Fiverr, this is the the structure that they have chosen for, for their website. They're not all that way. But it is a little bit, it does require some babysitting for sure. But I did it for 2 years full time. Bears VOA says, yes, Chris is the Reaper Queen. I even got help with my logo, name, etc. Yes, I am looking at you, sir, with a hat on. Thank you, sir. Dwight says, for those of you that are overwhelmed by how much that has to be done, find yourself an organization method that simplifies your life to help dial the anxiety down a notch. It will help you tons. Yeah, organization does help quite a bit, especially when you're starting to feel that overwhelm. Because, I mean, let's get real. Building a business takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of work, a lot of setup, a lot of foundation building. It just does. That's not just voiceover. That's just business, right? It takes a lot of effort. And you could very easily start to get to that overwhelm point. But if you break everything down, write it down, find some semblance of organization, it might help you to get through it a little bit easier, and to break down the bigger things into bite-sized chunks will help relieve some of that anxiety for sure. I hope that made sense. I feel like I sort of derailed midway there. Adekoya Gabriel, I hope I said that right. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Just produced my first audiobook, now live on Amazon, and I've gotten my full payment. Congratulations. Some of the information I used for the success of the audiobook came from your live videos. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. Thank you for that. You made my day. I'm so glad that I could help you. My cup of tea said, I get that feeling, Tea Farmer. I can be intimidating, but pacing out, setting aside time in the week will help you for those VO things you want to do. Excuse me. Oh, there she is. Chris, Reaper is my baby. Yes, he's very skilled with Reaper. Adekoya Gabriel says, I narrated in English, Spanish, and French. Wow, good for you. But I noticed that I got some rejection before I got the project I finished recently. What can I do to get more success rate? And rejection doesn't mean necessarily that there's something wrong with you. It just means that the author or the rights holder that you're submitting an audition to, they already have a voice in their head. They already have an idea of what they want in their head. So when you submit an audition, it's like 50% skill and 50% luck by, sending an audition to a person who is looking for your voice, right? So that is another reason why we have to audition a lot. So the chances of your audition landing on the desk of somebody who's looking for your voice increases. So it's not necessarily that you're bad, or that your audio stinks, or that you stink, or anything like that. It's auditioning a lot more to, find the person who's looking for you, basically. Christine says, no helping verbs in spoken English most of the time either. Someone will appreciate the formality. Stay with it. That's true. I mean, yeah, I think I did okay with my formal speaking voice. TT Farmer says, nice. Thank you. Masonry Construction says to Michaela Rose, here's an idea. About a week or so after you've submitted an audition, send a note to the rights holder and tell them you want to share it with some other producers, unless they object. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Masonry Construction says you just might get that rights holder to give you a second look. That's a good point. Michaela says to Masonry Construction, thank you. That's a good idea too. It absolutely is. Chock full of them here. Dwight says, hit like, gang. It helps Angela a lot. Seriously. Use your mouse and point to the like and hit the left mouse button. Like. You guys are so awesome. I appreciate you guys, not only for joining every week and participating and, engaging with each other and helping each other in the chat, spending time with me, and then also hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. I love coming here for just the community. I know I can't see any of you. You're all just staring at my face, but we're all here together in spirit, and I really enjoy these for that reason. So I see you guys all hitting the little heart button. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So if you guys if you have a burning question, or if there's something in particular that you'd like to learn more about for next week, perhaps, then, put it in the comments. If you're watching this in team replay, then, put it in the comments. And I have to admit, I don't see all the comments because there's just so many of them. I've got like hundreds of videos at this point. So it's hard to stay on top of all the comments on all the videos. I'm going to admit that right now. But I do see them, most of them. So if there is something that you would like to learn more about, or something you want to talk about as a group next week, then put it in the comments, and perhaps it'll be a topic for coming weeks. Dwight says, hearts are great, but thumbs up is better. Chris says, I tapped the like thumb, the only one, I guess. Yes, the thumbs up is the like button. Absolutely. All right, y'all. I'm going to get going. Oh, hang on a second. One more comment, and then I'll get going. Hang on. Oh, we got a couple more comments. Okay. Bagila says, yeah, it really baffles me how lovely supportive the VO community is. I've never experienced anything akin to it before, nor have I. And I tell this to people all the time, that this is one of the most supportive, helpful, warm, and open and loving industries that I've ever been part of. But for me, in retrospect, careers that I've had before VO were construction and the automotive industry. So, but really, there's so much love and support, and there's so many hands extended out to you for help. You just have to take it, right? There's so many great people in this industry. And, for all of you that are just joining or thinking about becoming a voice actor or an audiobook narrator, don't wait. Don't be intimidated by people that have been doing this longer than you. That is really the only difference, right? They've got more time invested, probably more money in equipment and things. But all those things sort of come naturally the more and more you do it, right? That's sort of the situation for anything that you're getting into and spend some time in, you're investing some time in. This industry is one of the most loving and supportive groups of people I have ever met in my entire life. So lots of help being offered. You just have to ask questions. And I know I'm in the middle of a tangent. I'm like mid-tangent right now. But you're right. Dwight says, if you're not in full screen, the thumbs up is under the screen. Please don't watch me in full screen. Oh my God, Dwight, why did you say that? I don't want this to be... God. Oh, my introvert self is screaming right now. Okay, chat with Lorna says, appreciate all you do. Have fun with the permit, and driving next few years will go even faster. Oh, I know. I'm so excited for him, but I'm terrified at the same time that, my youngin is going to be out driving. Leslie says, thank you for today and good luck with the permit. Yes, he's already passed the test. It's just a matter of picking up the permit, right? So having him behind the wheel just terrifies me because I know how people drive. And I'm not really worried about him driving. I'm worried about other people. No. Why'd you tell me that? No. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine my face on a 55 inch. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Adekoya Gabriel says, I don't think there's almighty formula for success in audiobook narration. What do you think? There isn't a singular path for really anything in this industry. There are multiple paths to get to that place where you call like your definition of success, right? Some people want to be in the NFL. I'm cool with just playing in college. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a different definition of what they call success. So in getting there's so many different paths to get there. So there isn't like one specific way to do it. As long as you are committed to doing this and you get the support and training and, enhance your skill set, practice, 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 you will get just inherently better as you go along, right? All of the things are important to your success: training, practice, just getting better. But no, there's not just one way to do it. You're lovely and beautiful. Oh, stop. Can make me blush. Again, introvert. I don't like the spotlight. It's hard enough to be on camera as it is. I don't want to hear any of that. Any day that you don't get out on a tangent, we worry about you. Well, that's concerning. Yeah, because I do tangent quite a bit. Now we're just chatting. Joy says, that's what I tell my husband. I trust his driving. It's the other idiots you got to watch out for. Yes, and that's what I tell my fiance when he's out on his motorcycle. It's not you that I'm worried about. You're driving. It's the other people, because nobody knows how to drive. Everybody's in such a rush and so entitled. They think everybody has the right of way. They have the right of way, right? Even if they don't. My cup of tea says, thank you for the stream. Have a great day, everyone. Yes. Everybody have a great day. I think this is a good place to say goodbye. I do have work to do. I need to go and steel myself for the driving permit. Anyway, I'll see you guys all next week. And again, if you have any questions or things that you would like to talk about in future episodes, then please put them down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to She Lancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.